Hey, good morning everyone. This is Justin with the Weather Center of Manitoba, coming to you with our daily weather update on this January 11th. And what we have going on this morning is really our first winter storm since we've been starting to create these daily weather videos. So that's a little bit exciting for me at least. So that means I'll have a couple more things that I'll add to this video for us to look through this morning. Again, we'll start off with looking at our current radar imagery, and this is just showing the foxhorn radar imagery up across western Manitoba in the southwest corner. We can see that generally snow has been taping off across the southwest portion of the province throughout the morning, but we see that there are some more bands that are forming and gaining strength as they try and track toward the southeast, and that would be up towards Pine River, Swan River, and then that's all tracking down toward Gilbert Plains, St. Rose, McCreary, Dauphin, Riding Mountain National Park, and also we do have some heavier snow as we zoom in, tracking through the Rossburn area currently, back through Foxhorn, Gambler First Nation, Birtle, Fleming, and Elkhorn, and then also going through Verdon, Hamiota, and then northeast back up through Eden and McCreary, and then over toward the western portion of Lake Manitoba. Brandon, there is some light snow falling outside as I go and look. The time is just past 8:30 a.m., but you can see on the radar that it has weakened substantially, but there is more snow on the way pushing in from the north. And the next thing we can do is look at our woodlands radar, and this is showing generally that southeast corner of the province, including Winnipeg and the Red River Valley. And we see that the snow is noticeably stronger or noticeably heavier. As we just looked at the foxhorn radar, the blues were lighter, and now we see more contrast in the radar, and it's showing definitely some heavier snow falling right now through part of the Interlake region, Ashern down toward Ericsdale, toward Arborg, Oak Point, St. Laurent, Toulon, and then continuing down through Winnipeg, also back toward Elm Creek, Carman, Morden Winkler, down Highway 75 could be pretty rough currently with some decent snowfall. Also Highway 1 from Winnipeg over toward Austin and Carberry. And then the snow is also falling across eastern sections of the province, including Beausejour and the Whiteshell area. So that's our radar picture just past 8:30 this morning. Next up, again, going to show our Mesonet portal. First, we're going to start across southern Manitoba and just check out what our temperatures are doing this morning. We can look at Brandon. Brandon's currently minus 12. Carberry, as we track east, minus 12 in Carberry. So it's going to be very similar temperatures across much of southern Manitoba. Minus 11.7 in Portage. Winnipeg at the Forks, minus 12. Morden Winkler, minus 10. Just west of Steinbach, Kleefeld, minus 12. And then as we track north, Wasagaming, minus 9, up across western Manitoba. Roblin, minus 11, somewhere in the Interlake here. Fisher Branch, minus 13. So generally across southern Manitoba, anywhere between minus 10 and minus 13 this morning. And then we can come and track up across the north. Pause at minus 18. Flin Flon, minus 18 as well. Thompson area, minus 22. Tadouli Lake is minus 25. Churchill, minus 22. So noticeably cooler across the north where there's high pressure currently sitting over the area and there's not any snow falling. So definitely having some colder temperatures up across the north this morning versus the south. In terms of our weather alerts or lack thereof, Manitoba is in the clear. No current weather alerts are in effect for Manitoba. Across the prairies this morning we do have some. We have an extreme cold warning across the extreme northeast sections of Saskatchewan, and there is a snowfall warning for the Cypress Hills across the far southwest corner of Saskatchewan and then going into the southeast corner of Alberta. Snowfall warning and special weather statements in effect there. Heavy snowfall amounts of 25 to 50 centimeters is expected for the Cypress Hills this weekend, and that is associated with the same winter storm that is impacting southern Manitoba this morning. So let's check out our current highway, what our highways are looking like this morning. And generally worse as you travel west across western Manitoba from Swan River. In the Swan River area, there's snow-covered roads, swirling snow, poor visibility, and that was updated at 7:30 on Highway 83. Doesn't get much better as you go south. Visibility may improve a little bit from Highway 45 from Rossburn to Russell, snow-covered and swirling snow at 5:30. Now it's 8:40, so it's a little bit outdated. And then the Trans-Canada this morning, from the Manitoba-Saskatchewan border east to Brandon, partly snow covered, some blowing drifting snow, swirling snow. Visibility appears to be good, but again, that was last update at 4:30, so it's not very accurate at the moment. I did want to note one thing, and this is some very exciting news. We can see that there are a couple of highway cameras that have been added that were there previously and taken away, but now they're added once again. And so yeah, we have the Shoal Lake camera, Highway 16 camera is up and running again, and it actually looks like it's a newer camera. It's kind of higher quality, but you can see that at 8:40 a.m. it doesn't look like there's a lot of snow falling at the moment at 8:40, but the roads are kind of snow covered, maybe a little bit icy from the snow that fell last night. And then the other camera that's back up and running is the camera down across the far southwest corner of the province near Pipestone, Highway 2 and 83 junction. We have that camera back up and running. It looks like the highway crews have been out putting sand down. The road looks pretty brown. It might have been plowed as well. It actually does appear like there has been maybe some plowing done this morning, so the crews are keeping up on things. Great job, Manitoba Highways. But again, it doesn't look like a lot of new snow is falling, maybe some. It's hard to tell from the camera. As we go east, let's go east of Brandon to Carberry, partly snow covered, blowing drifting snow, some swirling snow. That update was more recent at 8:35. Visibility is good, so that is some good news. We can look at our Austin highway camera, and the left passing lane looks pretty snow covered. The right driving lane doesn't look too bad. Kind of looks a little bit icy, definitely some blowing snow there. The Austin camera is really dirty and has been for a while. Hopefully maybe we can get somebody out to clean the lens soon. But as we track east, it looks like between Austin and then Winnipeg, according to this map, it appears to be bare and visibility is good. But I think that could be a little bit outdated because we're looking at the radar, the Woodlands radar, and it was showing some pretty heavy snow from the leeward part of Lake Manitoba east into Winnipeg. So, and yeah, I think that's a little bit outdated. The highway definitely doesn't look bare to me. Something's going on here. We got some traffic, somebody pulled over, and then something here on the Oakville Highway 1 and 13 junction camera. So I'm not sure what that is, but it could just be some people stopped. But you can see that we have drifting snow on the shoulders and also on the left passing lane here going westbound on Highway 1 toward Portage. And then east of Eli, it also looks like visibility is decent but kind of poor because you can't really see too far up out ahead of you on the road. Definitely some swirling drifting snow. Again, the passing lane is worse. Looks like westbound and eastbound. Could be some black ice there because I had drove this stretch of highway, I think it was 2 nights ago, and the highway was very icy. So just be careful if you're heading out and know that there is falling snow currently. Once you get to Portage and then east, it gets heavier into Winnipeg. No live camera view on Highway 6 and 236 right now. Deacon's Corner, I like this camera, but it always seems a little bit fuzzy. You can see that the road is kind of snow covered. Definitely, I think some snow is falling, although it's hard to tell from the hazy camera view. Roads across the Interlake look good according to 511, but there's the narrows here. Highway 68 through the narrows kind of looks a little bit rough. Highways are showing fairly bare through the Interlake. St. Laurent Highway camera looks okay, but again, on all these camera views, what we're seeing is some snow sticking to the road surface and some blowing snow as well. So let's check out Highway 1 continuing east of Winnipeg. And that's a really nice clear camera view. You can see that there is snow falling and some blowing snow. This is Highway 1 east, just north of St. Anne, and then Highway 1 at Hadashville looks bare. Doesn't look like there's been any snow there at all. But it'll be moving eastward throughout the day. And let's take a look at Highway 75 south. And yeah, it looks like there's probably some icy road surface there, swirling, blowing snow. And then down in Emerson, also blowing snow, some snow on the road, but it doesn't look like too much heavy snow is currently falling. Back west, south of Portage, we see highways around Warden-Winkler. At 8 o'clock, we're reporting visibility good, but there's some blowing, drifting snow and snow drifts as well and swirling snow. The highways get a little worse around Somerset, Altamont, snow-covered roads, visibility's good. And here's the Souris River Valley highway camera, and that's pretty rough south of Brandon. Snow-covered, could be icy going through the valley. So that's in general a look at our highway conditions this morning as this winter storm is ongoing. Pretty rough highways, Rocky Mountain National Park, Parklands region up in Dauphin, and then west toward Roblin, Russell, and then up towards Swan River. Highways not too bad across southwest Manitoba. Some areas where there is more snow on the road than others. Highway 1 east is fairly good, it appears, from Brandon to McGregor and Portage, and then it gets a little worse around Portage and then east through Winnipeg where there is some heavier snow falling currently. Highway 75 looks manageable at the moment, as we just saw, some blowing snow, but looks like traffic's still flowing. And then the Interlake snow-covered roads as well, but everything seems to be flowing this morning. We don't see any highway closures at the moment, but on the backside of the system later in the day and then going overnight, the winds will be gusty out of the north, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a handful of closures happen. But at the moment, I think if you want to go out and drive this morning, just be cautious that things can change rather quickly, but you should be fairly good to go this morning as of 8:48 to do some traveling. So let's get into some model data here. I know this video is a little bit longer. If you're still with me, thank you. But there's a lot to go through. This is our latest high rapid refresh model, and you can see that currently it does a good job showing that the snow is kind of tapered across southern Manitoba, but then look at here across the Interlake region and kind of the far north sections of the Parklands region, we get another kind of band of snow that wants to form by just before lunch, 11, 12 noon, and then you see that it kind of strengthens and then continues to drift south across southern Manitoba throughout the early afternoon period. 12, this is about 1 o'clock, there's 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 p.m. It's fairly heavy from Brandon east through Portage and Winnipeg. And that's 5 o'clock, 6, 7. So once that sun starts setting, 6, 7 o'clock, with still some heavier bands of snow, and you see these squiggly lines, these isobars as we call them, they're tightening across southern Manitoba. I think travel could be pretty tricky this evening from Brandon east toward Winnipeg on the Trans-Canada, and then also maybe Highway 75 south. And then eventually our snow tapers off through the overnight period around midnight. Going into Sunday morning, still some very gusty winds on the backside. And then eventually those winds ease off tomorrow morning. and just leave calm, cold weather behind. Let's quickly look at our snowfall totals here in addition to what we already have on the ground this morning, according to the high rapid refresh model. And it looks like throughout the day we could see anywhere between 5 to 10 centimeters in addition to what we already have. It seems to have a hot spot south of Winnipeg, kind of Emerson, back toward Morden-Winkler, up toward Portage, and then back northwest through Rocky Mountain National Park. Even Brandon, though, could see some more snow, maybe another 5 centimeters. Winnipeg, 7 centimeters. So we're not done. Even though there's a bit of a lull, there's going to be more snowfall, and it could pile up to another 5 to 10 centimeters throughout the day. So here's our NAM 3-kilometer run, and it's showing similar, kind of a lull across Southern Manitoba, and then you see in a few hours from now how it quickly fills back in across the south, and then yeah, just kind of snows the rest of the day, basically from Virden east all the way to the Ontario border, and then eventually slides out overnight as we get high pressure moving in. And tomorrow looks like a pretty calm day. We'll have some fairly calm winds across Southern Manitoba, but it'll be quite cold on the backside of that low. But again, it's showing what the high rapid was, squiggly lines, isobars, strong winds on the backside. All that fresh fluffy snow is going to be blowing around Saturday night into the early morning hours of Sunday. So what does the NAM 3-kilometer think for additional snowfall throughout the day? And it's like we're looking at the high rapid refresh model. It's very similar. Another maybe 10 centimeters for Dauphin, 6, 7 for Brandon, a little more as you go east toward the south central part of the province, 9 centimeters for Portage, 9 for Winnipeg, and then down toward Emerson, back to Morden-Winkler, and then up through the Carman area. It could be another 10 centimeters of snow throughout the day. And finally, here's our high resolution RDPS model. And again, it's just going to show the same thing. We get this another burst of snow throughout the afternoon and evening, and then eventually it exits into northwestern Ontario Sunday morning, and we're left behind with calm weather on Sunday under high pressure and cold temperatures. Let's go ahead and see snowfall totals for the HRDPS. And again, really similar. Again, that 8 to 10 centimeters more for Dauphin. This has maybe a little more for Brandon at 10. And then down in the Morden-Winkler area seems to be the snow winners this afternoon into the evening hours with maybe 10 to 15 centimeters. 8 for Portage, 7 for Winnipeg. So I think if we're looking later in the day, okay, where's the worst highways going to be? I think it's between Brandon and Winnipeg along Highway 1 as we get strong winds blowing off Lake Manitoba, Lake Winnipeg, and then also areas south of Portage toward that Morden-Winkler area where there's going to be that heavy snow and breezy winds on the backside of the low. And then also I would watch Highway 75 to be pretty rough, and maybe even back into western Manitoba, Highway 10. There may be some problems there later this afternoon and this evening. But again, I think if you want to travel, you can. It's not a crippling winter storm. On Manitoba standards, this is actually a fairly normal winter day. But just know that, again, the winds are going to pick up later in the day. There is still going to be falling snow. Visibility is going to be poor at times. Blowing, swirling snow. The highway itself could become fairly icy. So if you do go out, just know that there is going to be risks with that. But if you don't have to go anywhere today and you love snow, just maybe have a nice warm hot chocolate or coffee and look out the window at the snow falling. That is our update for January the 11th. Have a great day, everyone.